Hello and welcome back to the UK National Championship 2018. We're here in the top 64. The dreams of the 727 have now been decided. We have 64 of them remaining.
It's been a pretty grueling weekend so far. We finished pretty late yesterday and things are ticking over now. We're coming up to just gone 2:30 in the afternoon here in merry old England. And we are going to be kicking off the top 64 with a Gouki versus Trickstar Sky Striker with a splash of Mech Knights.
Yep, so the reason this match was chosen is because Nicholas Burgess actually went undefeated in Swiss.
He is the XO, so we decided to pull him up for a future match.
Yeah, well, at least he's the highest point scorer in Swiss. He's #1, so yeah.
Oh, was he wasn't XO?
No, actually, I think he had a draw. So
Okay, so there was no pure XOs.
No, there was no pure XO, but he was the highest point scorer. So let's see if the curse applies to Nicholas Burgess here and if he is able to get out of the top 64. Let's go over to the table.
This will be for the first time this weekend. We're going to be having Gouki on display, so this should be interesting if anybody's not seen this match before. Gouki able to combo off and put a lot of pressure in, and a lot of players saying it was their most feared deck entering. Looking at the stats between the players, as you can see, the win percentages are pretty similar. Nicholas attending a few more tournaments than Robert, but nothing particularly major between the two. And Nicholas is going to be starting. That's actually pretty huge. So Gouki can't start off with the Tri-Gate triple linked nightmare. Nightmare extra link it actually is a nightmare. So the names kind of fit the term there. We're going to be seeing Kagari. It's been a little while since we've seen that one.
Yeah.
The opening hand. What did they have though, Luke? In Nicholas's opening hand.
So Nicholas has Called by the Grave, Light Stage, Ash Blossom, I think that's Hornet, Drones, and then Lycoris.
Yeah, so he actually has a lot of gas here. And the Suzuki is going to search for the engage, sitting on the bottom of the deck. That makes it a nice easy shot. Nice easy search. And passes to Robert. Yeah, and we're going to see. There's an old one we haven't seen in a little while. Speedroid Terratop.
Yeah, he
drew the TikTok
talk.
Wow, it's like problems from yesteryear.
Yeah. So we see the very much traditional overlay into MX Saver Invoker.
And he gets to use the zone that Shizuku's pointing to.
Yeah. That's highly convenient.
This is a strong start coming out of Rob. I believe he has Gouki Suprex and Headbatter in his opening hand as well, right? Yes. And he also has a Gouki rematch, so quite a lot he can do here.
It's interesting that earlier on during the tournament we basically had, you know, a bunch of interviews where people were saying, "Hey, I'm only scared of Gouki. I'm only scared of Gouki," but nobody was playing Gouki.
Yeah, I guess it's because it was people recognized it as like the outsider deck that they've heard about, as opposed to actually like really invested in it. Because yeah, literally as you said, like very many people sort of said, "Yeah, I'm just not playing that."
Yeah. Isolate.
Let's see, like risk coming down.
Yeah, just before that search.
And you got Isolate and Gouki Suprex search going off. Gouki, for those who've not played it, is a deck that, as it plays for its combo, all of the Gouki cards replace themselves with another Gouki card. So you can keep the resources flowing and your combo keeps moving. Eventually you move yourself to a point where you have Firewall Dragon. And then you can use that every time you create one, sort of link up a monster into the next link. You get yourself to play another card from your hand, and then you get your Gouki gets to replace it. So Very, very big combo potential for Robert, who's also playing Marauding Captain and the Turret Top.
One of the oldest warrior cards in the game.
Marauding Captain. Back in the day, 2 Marauding Captains. You can't attack me. Judge? Yeah, I need you to explain that. Very frequent.
They both defend each other.
I'm going to see the Ash Blossom on the...
I don't think that was ever quite explained in the anime though. We never saw 2 Marauding Captains in the anime, so you never knew what actually
it
happened.
actually happened in Zexal.
Oh, really?
One of the characters played 2 cards that prevents the opponent attacking, and then I think Kite just transforms and destroys him. I don't remember. It's usually what happened.
Yeah, I don't
I'm sure somebody in the chat will know exactly what happened.
Send the answer on a postcard.
No postcards, please. Oh, we're going to see Reincarnation going off here. That could really mess with Robert's turn. And that's Ash Blossom he drew off of the Reincarnation, I think?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Which is obviously just 1 card too late. 1 card short.
But when you haven't used your normal summon, that's still pretty good. Gouki Suprex. Does he have another Gouki in his hand that he's going to drop? We know 1 card's Ash Blossom.
He may have drawn 1.
Instant Fusion?
No, maybe not. I did see another monster, but it may have just been the Ash Blossom.
There was a second hand trap in Nicholas's hand, right? It was, at the beginning, was it Ghost Ogre?
No, just Ash Blossom.
Oh,
That's all we've seen from him so far.
Just
unless he drew 1.
In actual fact, he's not playing Ghost Ogre. His other hand trap of choice is Draw and Lockbird.
Dragoness, the Wicked Knight. It's a pretty old card.
There was a day when you had these like really old fusions that nobody would have ever considered playing competitively, and now they're finding really niche uses because of their types and attributes.
That one was played. That one was played because it was the best target to metamorphosis Sangan into.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I'm saying that there's a bunch of like really old ones that are super fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Divine Phoenix Blade, you get sent to the graveyard. You send it to the graveyard with Isolade essentially for the combo, and then as you make Nightmare monsters, you can keep discarding the Divine Phoenix Blade to pay the discard cost that you get. And your Nightmare, then if it's co-linked, will draw you a card, and then you can just get back the Divine Blade by banishing 2 warriors from your graveyard.
Yeah.
All while doing some really horrible things to your opponent. Yep. So the Licorice is getting taken out by the Nightmare Cerberus.
Yeah, Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. I used that for a completely different deck back in the day.
Did it have Elemental Hero Stratos in your deck by chance?
No.
Oh, you weren't playing it that way. Okay.
No, Divine's... Well, okay, one of my decks did have Stratos in it, but the other one just had Kuraz the Light Monarch and Junk Collector in it.
Junk Collector. Okay, I see.
Yeah. What a card. Just infinite advantage.
There is a reincarnation in Nicholas's graveyard, so Nicholas has
at least something to block with.
Yes, some stuff he can do. In addition to the engage that's in his hand, he's actually pretty good to go here. There's just 1 Ash Blossom from Robert. It's the only interaction I think he has access to. Nicholas in the tank. Trying to think of how he wants to go about this. Not the full Gouki combo didn't actually go off, so there's still a lot of resources probably open to Robert in his deck.
Yeah, so Nicholas has got to do something here, otherwise he's going to just get closed on real quickly. That's fun of drones.
Kagari. And that's going to be able to add back either the drones or the engage.
I think it was engage.
Yeah, Nicholas is going to be more than able to clean the field up, but can he put 5,000 damage through? That's difficult, even with a Widow Anchor.
Yeah, another 100 drones.
Tricky. Double Hornet drones. This is going to be big.
Nice. He's definitely meeting that requirement of 3 spell.
Oh, actually, I think he can. Yeah, he's got light stage.
Think he's possibly going to be able to do the firewall.
There's the Ash Blossom and Called by the Grave. I think he could just get to top. I don't think he can get to top of Bomber Dragon, and then revive the Lycra from his graveyard. So he'd get 3,000 damage in, and then yeah, he has to clear the field. Space Insulator.
Goblin.
Nightmare Goblin.
And push some Incarnation.
Yep. Get the normal summon Candina.
Pretty beneficial. Candina gonna go search again.
Lilybell.
Gonna summon that for free. Whenever Lilybell's out of the hand, you can summon it for free.
Firewall Dragon. Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for the Firewall ATK.
Direct attack.
Lycaris.
Yeah, Lycaris. And there's the combo.
Yep, and that's going to be game 1, going over to Nicholas, pulling off a Firewall ATK.
Ooh, that was close. That was a close one. Robert almost had him at that point.
I think Nicholas just had too many good cards going into his next turn to play with. Like, had there not been a OTK available there from Nicholas, Robert might have been able to make a bit of a comeback, but it's one of the weaknesses to leaving monsters with greater than 1,600 attack points in attack mode when you don't have a way of interrupting a Firewall combo. You are opening yourself to just being obliterated by it, essentially. For going into side decks, Winged Dragon and Raw Sphere mode, very popular side deck card of choice this weekend. We're seeing 3 copies in Nicholas's side deck.
Well, I mean, this is going to be the first application we see of actually, actually being able to use it against Gouki.
Yeah, he's got 3 copies of Winged Dragon Raw Sphere mode. He's got 2 copies of Evenly Matched. I'm not sure if Evenly Matched really answers the Tri-Gate Triple Link combo very well, because you kind of need to force the Tri-Gate negate, then have Evenly Matched, and then you kind of need a follow-up on top of that, and that's assuming your opponent doesn't have any other kind of disruption to work with. But nonetheless, it's very effective at taking out clunky fields. Winged Dragon Raw Sphere mode, absolutely superb for removing multiple co-linked monsters. Rob, on the other hand, has 3 copies of Ghost Winter and Winter Cherries in his side deck. He also has Red Reboots, I think that's Shared Ride. Yeah, that's shared. 3 copies of Shared Ride.
Robert, looks like Bad Ride.
It does. That's why I was just double checking with you, because I was like, that's not a card.
That's not a real card. We have some problems here.
If Robert's going first, we're likely to see the Shared Rides coming, perhaps even the Winter Cherries, because he can show his Firewall to take out his opponents, or he can. Don't know if he actually plays the Kagaris.
But it's tough to have space.
Yeah, he does. He plays 1 copy of
Kagari,
Kagari, so he could pull those out, or he could just cut the Firewall OTK off if he needs to.
So interesting.
But then going first, if you're going to heavily commit to the field, then you're probably not bringing Winter Cherries in. It kind of contradicts. Then he drew the Tic-Tong Borg again. Oh,
that's rough. That's so rough.
Right, if you use a Sack of Light, you can put it back.
Nice.
Right, so there you go. It might hinder the rest of his deck from actually doing anything, but
Mildly.
but the point is, you can fix that one minor issue.
Yeah.
Is that a... Yeah, we see an Ash Blossom, a Gouki Super X, and 2 rematches. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, you normally want to search those out. That's a bit of a clunky Gouki hand.
This is the second clunky Gouki hand that he said.
I'm kind of ashamed to go out on that, though, right? He's left.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's left just Super X in attack mode on his own. Let's see Terraforming Light Stage, Candina, and we probably see the Ash Blossom on the Candina. And then hope that that's going to be enough to stop Nicholas from advancing. We're going to see Sky Striker, Hornet Drones, creating a token, and that's going straight into Kagari.
I think Robert's been dealt pretty bad hands here.
Yeah, Robert.
Real bad.
A real shame to be in this position. And we're going to see the Hornet Drones being used again. There's the Candina. No Ash Blossom? No Ash Blossom going off here. Probably just electing to sit on that. But then that Ash Blossom does line up pretty well against the Reincarnation.
Yeah, I've heard a few players saying do not use Ash Blossom against anything other than Reincarnation in the Trickstar matchup.
It's pretty fair. I mean, I know a lot of players that are trying to play the matchup slightly more aggressively are trying to negate the Candina after the normal summon's been committed. And then saying, okay, now my opponent's essentially has to link summon that away to get the extra monster zone, to get the monsters out of the main monster zone.
Yeah.
So you put the pressure on them to actually do stuff. And we're going to see Unicorn shuffling away the Super X. So no Super X shirt's being denied there by Nicholas. Just getting his poor hand picked apart.
Yeah. Really does really does seem like it's all come up. Sky Striker's here. Robert's got to be feeling pretty upset about this, that he's got to the top 64 and this maybe has happened, you know, either it's not happened and he's had a great run, or it has happened already and he thinks, okay, that's the one or two times that it's out of the way. I don't need to think about this happening anymore. And then it has
nature of any kind of heavily based combo deck.
Yeah.
And the Gouki deck is so susceptible to disruption that you can end up in really tough situations. What we're getting attacked. Oh no, Robert taking 400 damage from drawing a card for his turn. So Robert now getting Terratop. Terratop is really good here because that will allow him to get the take on board that he drew earlier. But it will allow him to make a MX Saber Invoker and then get himself the Gouki Super X.
Yeah, I don't think that... Oh, he's got a Ghost Ogre. Nicholas, that is. I was just wondering what he actually had to respond to this. I think there's a Ghost Ogre in there. Whereabouts do you Ghost Ogre against Gouki?
You can do it on there's one point in the combo where you can actually do it on Firewall Dragon. It's when they make the... There's at some point when they play the Nightmare Mermaid. They get up being forced into a position where their Firewall Dragon is the card that would be affected by Ghost Ogre, and then you can shut them down that way. Some people think about doing it on the Isolade, but I think that's kind of difficult because the way they can build the chain
Yeah.
makes that a little bit difficult.
Looks like Nicholas here has decided just to do it on the Invoker. Do you think that was a mistake?
Difficult to say at this point. We'll see how Robert goes. I mean, Robert does have rematch, but he's lacking a Gouki because remember his first turn was to summon Super X Pass.
Yeah.
So Nicholas might be just trying to keep Robert in a position where he just can't actually get anything going.
Yeah.
Like the rematches are dead. He's got 2 of those in his hand, right?
Yeah.
And he has an Ash Blossom. I think that's the remaining cards in his hand. So
Yeah. It's not much use to him.
Nicholas actually most likely taking advantage of his opponent's really bad start and just saying, I'm just going to make sure you stay in a poor position. So yeah, we're seeing Ash Blossom being normal summoned.
That's never optimal.
It became a Dante for Tom Rose and got him out of a jam. But
That's true.
yeah, if you're normal summoning the Ash Blossom, your only Ash Blossom, that's horrendous. When you think of what a normal summon has to be these days for it to actually
Worth
make it
it.
into a competitive deck.
Hanzo.
Yes, like Hanzo or Skullcrapat Joker when it was legal.
Yeah. Yeah, the normal summon is such an important resource nowadays. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all of his cards.
Yeah, it's very likely Nicholas is going to be ending the game next turn.
So the curse of being the top point scorer in Swiss was not in effect at this tournament.
Oh, and yeah, the evening match gets destroyed by Phoenix. The Curse of Anubis is, I believe, you and Ollie call it. Oliver German.
Yeah, the curse of Anubis. Sometimes it comes in real strong, sometimes not so much. In this case, it seems like it's been transferred to Robert. He's open take Tom Bog both games.
Yeah, he's just had a really, really unfortunate hand there, especially when he's lining up against a deck that's like a master of consistency.
Yeah.
And he just leaves the Phoenix up and passes.
Guess that's why a lot of Trickstar players were saying, oh, I don't really want to face Gouki, because when they do well, they beat them. When they don't do well, they get absolutely wrecked.
I think it's entirely down to if you have interrupts, then the matchup is pretty okay. But the second you don't, you just auto-lose. And the decks don't like auto-losing based on your opening hand. A lot of competitive players, and if you're playing Trickstar, you're very aware that having auto-losses just sucks, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's Lycris, and there's game.
Yeah, calls it a day.
Nicholas pushing forward into the top 32 of the UK National Championship 2018.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about it in our post-match discussion. So that was it. The first in the...
The single elimination gets a little bit smaller.
Yeah, exactly. So
as
now
we
we're
filter towards who's going to be our best champion this year, or our best player for the year.
Yeah.
It's actually the national championships. Originally, were very sort of localized. You'd go to your own national championships, but because of since the introduction of the point system, a lot of people strategically either choosing to go to smaller events or travel to larger events. Some of the bigger players actually want to use it for practice for the WCQ. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people have different reasons for how they choose their nationals this year.
Yeah.
We're sitting at the second largest one, and we're seeing some great stuff so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was well played by Nicholas. He knew exactly where he wanted to go and how to play against the matchup, I guess.
Didn't even need to show the Magnites. He's just like, yeah, you don't need to see that.
Yeah.
I've already got this covered. But yeah, we saw Rob not opening well, trying to limp into each games and just...
Yeah, well, the take Tom Bog in both games, I think, was just...
Yeah, and then he got caught out by the Firewall OTK, and it's just... that is what it is, and then when your opponent then also... You open up your second hand, and then your heart sinks, and you're like, yeah, this is just not good to play with. But
yeah,
Nicholas sensing that and playing onto it and straight into his top 32.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think we're going to be able to get an interview with our winner.
Yep.
With Robert. So let's head on over to those guys for our interview.
And we're back. Now I'm here with the winner of our feature match. Now you were playing the biggest deck in the room, aren't you? You're playing the Trickstar Sky Strikers. Yeah. Now, what influenced your decision, other than it being an incredibly good deck? What influenced your decision to pick it up?
So when the deck first sort of came about, just after the Sky Striker cards came out, I instantly started testing it, and I just found myself confident with it. And I thought that was the most important thing for an event, is to play a deck that I'm confident with. And then we added in the Mech Knights in the main deck to improve our mirror match, because they just apply even more pressure, so you just have big beaters.
Oh, that's brilliant. Now, you were up against Gouki, which actually most people have been telling us that they don't want to go up against Gouki this entire event. Was there anything you want to say about the game that you've just played?
Well, I mean, he basically bricked twice with the Terratop Takatomborg, but game 2 he opened Takatomborg, and he didn't open the Terratop, and I could tell because he summoned Super X, didn't use the effect, so I knew he didn't have the normal summon in hand. So the next turn when he specialed Terratop, if he'd have opened Terratop and Takatomborg, I knew he would have specialed both turn 1. So I knew that he didn't have a normal summon and he hasn't drawn into one. So therefore I could ogre. That's why I ogred the MX Saber Invoker. So that then, because he had no follow-up play.
Brilliant. Now, it's been a long, grueling time, and you're finally in the top 64, so which is absolutely fantastic. Really good progress. Been playing for a long time over the weekend, all day yesterday until 10:30. Anything that you've played against that you thought, wow, that was really interesting, or any fun plays that you've done yourself?
Not really. Most things have been pretty standard. I played against a 40-card Lightsworn deck. That was quite fun, because as soon as Snow comes into play, the game completely changes. Other than that, mostly standard.
Mostly standard. Well, it's interesting actually, because although the majority at the start of the day we had over 170 different people playing a variation of Sky Strikers, most people that came on the stream over the last 2 days have not actually said that they've not actually come up against any of them yet.
Sky Strikers?
Yeah.
No, I played 4 pure in Swiss.
Really?
And 3 mirror matches.
Wow. So yeah,
So
you got them all basically.
Yeah.
No,
that's fine.
else
I like
did.
playing against the pure deck because
Oh.
it's very grindy.
Mhm.
And so I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a really long time. So I played back when we used to play with trap cards.
Yeah.
So Dino Rabbit, all of that. So I like playing those games because you're not necessarily get OTK'd on one turn like Gouki can do. So I prefer playing against those decks.
That's good. So would you say, even though it's the majority deck people are playing, it's still a fun meta to be able to play in?
It is, but dying in the draw phase due to a burn effect can be very cheesy. So.
Of course, that's understandable.
And obviously the Lilybell loop, which I did there. So.
Yeah. That's great. Now, if you weren't playing the big deck in the room, as you say, you really enjoyed playing it, was there anything else you would consider bringing?
I could tell you what I definitely wouldn't consider bringing, and that would be Gouki, because that's just personally, I'm really bad with combo decks.
Right, okay.
So I'd get slow play warnings for trying to do the combos. If there was another deck, it would be Altergeist, because I picked that up when Multi-Faker first came out, and I really enjoyed that deck.
Good. We actually do have some in our top 64. We will have a breakdown for you at the start of the next round for top 64 and for top 32, which Luke and Matt will be bringing to you. Thank you very much for coming on stream. It's been lovely having you on here. Good luck in the rest of the competition. Let's throw back to our commentators.
Thank you very much, Robert, and thank you, Nicholas, for making me feel old by referring to Dino Rabbit as a long time ago.
It's like, yeah, a long time ago, Dino Rabbit, when we used to play trap cards, I'm like, oh, Chaos Emperor Sanga and Yata, good game.
Yeah, that wasn't a long time ago as far as we're concerned, but
yeah,
there we go.
It's we've been going for a very long time with the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game, and that was excellent. And
same stuff saying about the Mech Knights.
Yeah, it seems to be very popular for people considering the mirror matches to say the amount of pressure it allows you to apply is definitely swinging those matches in their favor.
Yeah, it really is, and we're seeing the success of it. We didn't see it in that game because that was more about the intricacies of the Gouki matchup, but
and the Gouki bricking twice.
And the Gouki bricking twice. Yeah. All right, so that was our top 64 match. We're down to just the top 32 now. It's getting pretty close, so generally the time between rounds gets much shorter due to the smaller amount of people.
Did we have the stats for the breakdown yet?
I think we're going to have that at the start of the next round.
Start of the next round? Okay.
Yeah. So stick with us, and then we'll be able to do the full breakdown at the start of the next round. Catch you guys soon.